Next week, we start a new series. It's going to be a couple of months long. It's called Why Church? Actually, the people of the church on a Wednesday night about a month ago helped me pick out the title of the series. We're going to be walking through the book of 1 Timothy, but I just want to give you a little nutshell of what's going on. Sometimes we at church have a hard time being blatantly honest with ourselves about kind of big picture stuff. And the truth is, the honest reality is that there are a lot of folks in the world who think that the hour you're spending right now is a fairly wasted time. Just like a meaningless kind of time. There's a lot of folks who see it that way. And early in the book of 1 Timothy, Paul sends Timothy to a church in Ephesus, and he says to him, I want you to go there because the leaders there are some folks who are not leading well, and he said, basically, this is a paraphrase, he says, they're making the church meaningless. They're making the church meaningless. And so Paul, by his own admission, admits that something negative has happened and that Timothy needs to help work through that. And so we talked on a Wednesday night about what are we going to call this? We thought about calling it meaningless church, or is the church meaningless, or do you think the church is meaningless, or that kind of thing. Ultimately, here's the goal. We want to help people see how God can bring meaning into their own life and into their walk with God and ultimately their relationship with the church. And we want to make sure that in every way we as a church do church in the most meaningful ways. And so this series is targeted at us as people learning how to bring more and more meaning into the church, and at the same time encouraging those who may have given up, who may have just quit the idea, just forgotten about the opportunity and said church is not for me, to try to reach out to them and say, wait a second, maybe it can be. Maybe it can be. And so we've given you lots of options. We've given you those little business cards that you should have gotten with your handout. If you didn't, there's like 1,000 of them on the welcome table as you leave. Grab a whole stack. If you're a talker, you know what I mean? If you're somebody who got a lot of friends, you can't hush, you know what I mean? Like one of those folks, like grab 50 of them. That's okay. You can give them out to everybody you talk to. All this ultimately is a personal invitation for you to tell them about what's going on over the next couple of months at the Potter's House, and it gives them the information they would need if they wanted to show up, okay? So that is where we're going to head. I'm really looking forward to doing that. And today's message is kind of a transitional heading out of Man of Steel and into the Why Church time period. The L in Steel, our final day, stands for love. We're ultimately asking the question, how does Jesus, the God-man, how does he love us? How does he love people? And how does his church live out his love to the people around us? So if you would, let's pray together.